So back when I was starting out, there was these tests you could take that would supposedly tell you whether you had a future as an entrepreneur or not. And I didn't do very well on those tests. I think they were pretty messed up. One thing they didn't test for, which I think is probably the most important indicator of whether you have a future as an entrepreneur, is whether you have a growth mindset. And when I talk about a growth mindset, that means that you have a belief that you can get better, that you can acquire new skills, that you can acquire new capabilities, that you can figure things out, as opposed to a fixed mindset, which is sort of that like, it'll never work, we're all gonna die, there's no hope. You want to cultivate a growth mindset. And as I started my business and I started to hang around more and more successful entrepreneurs, I noticed that so many of them did have this growth mindset. So there are ways to cultivate this growth mindset. One is to embrace challenges. Always look for new challenges. And I believe that you can even look for new challenges outside of, it doesn't have to be business, it doesn't have to be work. I know that when I learned to kayak, when I learned whitewater kayaking and got the skills to kayak down pretty difficult water. For those of you who know whitewater, like class 4, hard class 4, very comfortable, some class 5. So I had some skills. And in learning that, and going through the process of learning that, and understanding that I could learn that when I was in my mid-30s, then that just gave me great confidence in so many other areas of my life. Another one is to look for feedback. You will always want to look for feedback, and you want to look for feedback from people that are willing to tell you the truth, which is a big deal because a lot of times people they want to pat you on the back. They're uncomfortable telling you areas where you could improve. So always look for feedback and try to put yourself in situations where you're going to get feedback. Another one is to find a mentor, someone who can mentor you, that can show you the way, that can share their experience, that can show you your growth areas. Another way to embrace the growth mindset is to join a mastermind. This has been the fuel for me since the early 90s, really. It's crazy. But I've been in different mastermind groups since literally the early 90s, and I've been through many over the years. I kept on evolving. I personally kept on growing out of them. I'd get in a group and it'd be great, and then all of a sudden I'd be the smartest person in the room, and I'd have to go find another group. Eventually, I just created my own mastermind, which I've been running for, I think we're in our 13th, we're about to start our 13th year running my mastermind, which has been awesome. But being around people that have a growth mindset, those are the people that will naturally pull you up. Another way to embrace that growth mindset is to embrace failure, to know that failure is an event, it's not an identity. And every one of us as entrepreneurs, we're going to have plenty of times where we fail, where things don't go the way we want. And if you can take on this mindset of okay, that didn't go the way I wanted, but I learned something, so it's still a win. So cultivating this growth mindset is something you're going to do every day. It's never going to end. And definitely, I think the biggest thing is by surrounding yourself with other people that have a growth mindset, because then you're going to just naturally be pulled up. You don't have to do the hard work every single day of getting out of bed and fighting through it when you're surrounded by people with a growth mindset. Now you might say, the people in my life, I'm surrounded by people that don't have a growth mindset. Well, the great thing about the online world is you can build relationships. You can find other people that are on the path, that are walking the same path, or maybe a few steps ahead, or maybe even a few steps behind, but they're walking that same path. And you can build those relationships online. When I first started out, and I had didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, times were very, very challenging, but I was still able to build relationships online and find those people. There weren't very many of us online entrepreneurs back then, but I just, right from the start, I went about building those relationships with others. And guess what? They had growth mindsets. And that helped me develop my growth mindset. This is absolutely critical to your long-term success as an entrepreneur. Build yourself a growth mindset. So I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.